What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I will be reviewing a beer from the Yuengling Brewery, and they are out of Pottsville, Pennsylvania, and this is their traditional lager. So this is an American amber lager that comes in at 4.5% alcohol by volume, 16 IBUs at the time of review. This can is approximately 3 months old, and it's obviously already open. So this is the first time this has happened since I brought back the channel, but I forgot to hit record. At least that's what I think happened. Hopefully it didn't turn off, but I forgot to hit record, and I'm really disappointed because I thought it was a really good review. I kept it relatively simple. Didn't seem like it was all that long, and kind of a bummer. But here's the thing. I'm going to do a quick review of this one, knowing that I've already tasted it, I already poured it, I already smelled the whole nine, because it's Yuengling. It's Yuengling Traditional Lager. We've all had this one before. If you're in the Northeast, I feel like you've probably had this one before. And it's one of those beers that it's not all that complex, so it's really easy to review. So we're just going to go into this one knowing that I already tasted it, I already reviewed it. I'm not going to act surprised when I smell it and go, oh my God, I never smelled that. I'm going to be honest. I already drank like half the can. So we're going to go into this one properly, though. We're totally going to. So I want to give a quick shout out to one of my viewers, Rich. He recommended me reviewing some more Yuengling beers. He was like, I love your channel. Could you review some more Yuengling stuff? And I was like, all right. And I haven't reviewed the traditional lager, and I think I'm going to pick up the black and tan in the near future. So anyway, let's pour the rest of the can into the glass. Like I said, I probably already drank like 4 or 5 ounces. So I think this is like a 12-ounce glass, so maybe even more than that. So yeah, as I said in the review that it did not record, yeah, that looks beautiful. That is 100% an amber lager. It has an amber glow to it, very, very see-through. Look how clear that is. It's crazy. About a half finger of this really nice, creamy / soap sudsy looking head. Yeah, I mean, it looks like an amber lager. Not much more to say about it. I wonder what it smells like. So, as I was saying in the review before, I love when I drink a beer like this in comparison to like a big, macro beer. I get a lot of caramel malt sweetness here, toasted white bread. Then there's a little bit of like a floral, earthy kind of hop tone to it. It smells sweet, but not overly so. Has a little, like, this is going to have a little bit of a bitterness to it. And that's what I was saying in the original review that I didn't record because I'm an idiot. Yeah, I mean, listen, I've had Yuengling so many times in my life. This is a beer that when I first got it into beer in general, but then craft beer, like if this is on tap at a local restaurant and there's nothing else that I'm really, fiending for, I will grab this and get a pint of it. It's a good beer, and I've always enjoyed this one, and it doesn't smell any different than I remember smelling. So let's get into it. Cheers, everybody, and thanks again to Rich for the recommendation. Yeah, so as I was saying in the original review that I didn't record. I don't know how many times I'm going to mention that. It pisses me off, but whatever. I really like the body on this one. It's like lower side of medium, approaching medium, and it has a little bit more oomph at 4.5%, which is nice and sets it apart from some of the other macro beers. On top of that, the mouthfeel, crisp, clean, super refreshing. It's spritzy on the tongue, but it's not overdone. There's not too much carbonation. And then the taste. It follows suit from the nose to a T. A lot of caramel, malt sweetness up front, toasted white bread, and that's like the first half of the palate. Middle of the palate, that's where a little kiss of bitterness creeps in, and that carries on to the finish. It's more of like a floral bitterness and an earthy bitterness. Like I was getting both floral and earthy in the nose, in the taste more floral. It finishes semi-dry with a very, very mild bitterness. It's really balanced because it's not super sweet to my palate, and then that semi-dry finish and a little kiss of bitterness on the back end balances out enough where it's like, I could drink a shit ton of these, and I have before. There's not much more to say about it. The reason why I'm doing a quick re-review, even though it's the first ever time I'm reviewing this one, second, if I would have recorded it, is because, again, a lot of you out there have had this one. You kind of know what to expect from it. I wanted to do a proper review, and, it is what it is. But this beer did not change in the 5 minutes or 10 minutes ago when I really reviewed it. But, yeah, it's just, for me, if I'm going to compare this to other macro beers, and again, this is an American amber lager, it's not an American adjunct lager, I prefer this over most of those. Genesee Cream Ale is one of my favorite bigger beers to buy and cheaper beers, and I would grab this over that more often than not if I was in the mood for something that had a little bit more flavor and is, a little bit more impactful taste-wise. And I usually give Genesee Cream Ale like a 3.25 to 3.5. Like that's kind of the wheelhouse I give it. So when it comes to ratings, for beers like this, I always say stylistically, you know, what the rating is. And for this, it's like a 4.75 out of 5. This is close to perfection for an American amber lager, especially from a brewery that their price point is fantastic. My own personal score, I have to give Yuengling Traditional Lager a low 3.75 out of 5. I'm going to go straight 3.7 out of 5. I think that's a fair score for this beer. I really enjoy it. And again, to go back to the price point and availability, I paid 99 cents for that can. I just bought a single. I believe the 12-ounce cans and 12-ounce bottles are around $10 in my neck of the woods. So here's, and I asked this in the original review, I want to know out there, for those of you who buy this regularly or pick it up occasionally, what do you pay in your neck of the woods? Because a lot of times I'll say a specific price in my videos for different reviews, and people will be like, I pay way more, I pay way less. So I can't imagine like a 12-pack of their beers being more than like $12, you know, like $1 per can. But in my neck of the woods, $10 or so. Availability, wherever you see Yuengling, they get distribution now, I think, into Texas, a little bit out west, more down south. You see it all over the place now. But you know, years ago, this didn't get much distro outside of like the mid-Atlantic, maybe northeast region. So yeah, it's Yuengling. It's traditional lager. It's a good beer. I enjoy it. And of course, on the label, America's oldest brewery. I believe they brought back this original recipe back in the late 80s. It says original amber beer. And yeah, I mean, it's just a solid, good beer. So like I said, I'm going to try to pick up the black and tan to review at some point in the future. I appreciate Rich giving me the suggestion, and I'm always open to suggestions. If you want me to review a specific beer, as long as I can get my hands on it easily, I will totally do so. He wanted me to review some Yuengling, so here we are, and like I said, I'll do the black and tan soon. Oh yeah, in my original review that I didn't record last time, I'll mention that, I did say this drinks like a 4.5% beer, because that's what it is. It's a beer. You know it's a beer. It drinks like a beer, but it's a pretty damn tasty beer for what it is. So thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. I'm sorry that this was not in a super authentic review like it usually is, but I wanted to be upfront with you and let you know, the camera turned off and the camera was never started by me, because apparently, despite doing over 1,000 of these reviews, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But I will say, it's been 2 months since I brought back the channel. I'm reviewing this one in early December, and it's the first time I fucked up like that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I've only done it maybe a half dozen times over the course of my reviews. It happens. What are you gonna do? Anyway, till the next one. Cheers.